The Pentagon says Russia has now turned to North Korea to supply its war in Ukraine with weapons.
And all this as the United Nations nuclear watchdog issues a report saying it is concerned about safety at a nuclear power plant which is caught in the crossfire. VOA's Jessica Stone reports from Washington.
Hello from Washington. Well, the International Atomic Energy Agency has called for a halt in fighting around Europe's largest nuclear power plant, saying they discovered extensive damage there from the war in Ukraine. Meantime, VOA's Ukrainian service has obtained an exclusive interview with the country's top national security official about the IAEA report. In the interview, Alexei Danilov, the secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, called on the international community not to be, quote, sluggish, and called out the United Nations for letting bureaucracy get in the way of preventing a potential nuclear tragedy, like the one that happened at Chernobyl in 1986. Meantime, the Russians continue to blame Ukrainian forces for putting the plant in danger.
The president of our country, the minister of foreign affairs of our country, everybody who is involved in this is doing everything possible and impossible in order for this situation to stop. But I emphasize once again, the world must stop being sluggish in this matter. That is what we were talking about. The UN should make this decision at their meeting. But what is actually happening is that if you look into the decision-making process, the Russian Federation has the right to veto. That is, the terrorist has the right to veto any decision. What else needs to be said about this?
In total, Ukrainian artillery fired 20 shells, including 3 on the territory of the nuclear power plant. One of the munitions hit the roof of Special Building Number 1, the second hit the area of the transition between Special Building Number 1 and the second power unit, and the third exploded near the tanks for storing distilled water near power unit number 2. The shells were fired from Ukrainian positions in the area of Marganets settlement, the Dnipropetrovsk region. Artillery units of the armed forces of Ukraine were suppressed by returning fire from Russian artillery. The radiation situation at the Zaporizhia NPP is normal.
The IAEA says it will leave behind inspectors to continue to monitor the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, but the U.S. State Department has called for a complete military withdrawal of both Russian and Ukrainian forces from that entire region, yet it's unclear who would enforce such a withdrawal or such a safety zone that the IAEA is calling for. Back to you.